By age 60, most adults have lost over 25% of their muscle, often without realizing it. And for some, that number reaches 40% by 80. But the biggest risk isn't just weakness, it's falls, fractures, and losing your independence. Now here's the part no one tells you. You can slow, even reverse that loss with a molecule your own body already makes. I'm not talking about a miracle pill or the latest supplement trend. I'm talking about something your body already knows how to make. A compound that fuels your muscles and brain when they need it most. It's called creatine. And in this video, I'm going to explain why creatine might be one of the most powerful and most overlooked tools for aging well. We'll cover how it works, how much to take, who it's for, and how it can support not just your muscles, but also your bones and your brain. Because here's the truth. Creatine isn't just for athletes or bodybuilders. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, this might just be the daily habit your body's been missing. Now let's break it down. Your body naturally produces creatine using 3 amino acids, glycine, arginine, and methionine. Its job to act like an emergency battery, especially for your muscles and brain, when your body needs quick energy. Think of those moments, lifting groceries, climbing the stairs, catching yourself from a stumble, that instant power. That's creatine at work. But here's the catch. As we age, our creatine levels drop, and that's where problems start. Why does this happen? There are 3 main reasons. We naturally lose muscle mass as we get older. Our bodies produce less creatine on their own. Many older adults simply don't eat enough protein. Think about it. How many seniors skip dinner or just have a cup of tea and go to bed? Or eat a salad with no protein, thinking it's the healthy choice? Sure, veggies are great, but without enough protein, your muscles don't get what they need. The result? Weaker muscles, more fatigue, and something we don't talk about enough, less mental energy. That's where creatine comes in. Supplementing with this simple molecule can help fill in the gaps and support your strength, your mobility, and yes, even your mind. Coming up next, I'll show you how this simple compound helps you stay on your feet, sharpen your mind, and why it's one of the most researched and underused tools in aging science. Let's start with the benefit most people associate with creatine: muscle strength. Now, this isn't about vanity or looking more toned. It's about something far more important: staying independent. Because here's the truth. Once you hit your 50s, you begin losing 1 to 2% of your muscle mass every year. Left unchecked, this leads to a condition called sarcopenia, a silent muscle-wasting disease that makes everyday tasks harder and riskier over time. But it doesn't just weaken your grip or make jars harder to open. As your muscles shrink, so does your balance, coordination, and walking speed. And what starts as a slower step can quickly become something much more serious, like a fall. We're not talking about a minor trip here. For seniors over 60, a fall can mean a broken hip, surgery, long recovery times in bed, and often a permanent loss of independence. That's where creatine becomes a game changer. In multiple clinical studies, creatine supplementation has been shown to improve muscle strength, volume, and function in older adults, even those in their 70s and beyond. Think of it like fuel for your muscles, giving them the support they need to help keep you upright, steady, and strong. And here's the part that really matters. Even in seniors who were already fragile, those in their 70s with advanced muscle loss, creatine helped restore strength and gave them back something priceless: a sense of control, of mobility, of independence. So if you've noticed yourself feeling weaker lately, or if you're worried about your balance, creatine isn't just a supplement. It could be your first step toward feeling strong and steady again. And coming up next, we'll explore a surprising benefit of creatine that goes far beyond the muscles, one that could help you stay sharper, clearer, and more focused every single day. Now let's talk about something most people never expect from creatine: brain power. You might think of creatine as that thing athletes take for muscles, but what many don't realize is that it plays a major role in how your brain functions too. See, just like your muscles, your brain needs quick bursts of energy, especially when you're trying to think clearly, focus, or react fast. Creatine acts like a backup generator for your brain, giving it extra support when you're tired, under pressure, or just trying to stay sharp throughout a long day. And here's where it gets really interesting. Recent clinical studies have found that creatine supplementation in older adults can improve mental clarity, short-term memory, focus, and even reaction time. That means it may help with staying mentally alert while reading or working, keeping up in conversations, remembering names or where you put your keys, feeling less mentally fatigued, especially late in the day. And this benefit isn't limited to older adults. In fact, studies show that vegetarians and vegans, who tend to have lower natural levels of creatine, may see even bigger improvements in brain performance when they start supplementing. So whether you're 65 or 85, whether you're still working or enjoying retirement, this simple molecule could help you stay sharper, longer, and feel more like yourself every single day. Coming up next, we'll take a look at how creatine supports not just your muscles and your mind, but your bones too, and why that's a connection far too many people miss. Now here's a benefit that surprises just about everyone. Creatine may also help protect your bones. Most people don't realize this, but your muscle strength and bone strength are deeply connected. Every time you move, lift, or exercise, your muscles tug on your bones, and that physical stress tells your bones to stay strong, rebuild, and grow denser. So when your muscles get weaker, your bones start to lose that protective signal. That's why people who lose muscle mass with age often also develop weaker bones, increasing their risk of fractures and osteoporosis. But here's where creatine steps in again. When you combine creatine with resistance training, even light training with bands or body weight, studies show it can enhance muscle growth, and that added muscle provides more support and stimulus for your bones. In fact, some research is now exploring creatine's potential to prevent osteoporosis, especially in postmenopausal women, who are at the highest risk for brittle bones and fractures. Let me put it plainly. Adding creatine to your routine isn't just about lifting more at the gym. It's about staying upright. It's about preventing the fall that could send you to the hospital. It's about protecting your bones from the inside out. Take one of my patients, for example, a 63-year-old retired teacher. After just a few months of taking creatine daily, she didn't just feel stronger. She told me, "I walked up the stairs today without grabbing the railing. I felt steady." That right there is what this is all about. Confidence, stability, independence. Coming up next, we'll dive into the most common myths around creatine, including concerns about kidney health, and what the latest science actually says. Let me tell you a quick story that really stuck with me. One of my patients, a 64-year-old gentleman from Ohio, started taking creatine after we discussed it during a routine checkup. He'd been feeling a little slower, a little less steady on his feet. Nothing dramatic, just the kind of quiet decline so many people chalk up to getting older. A few weeks later, he came back in, smiling, and he said something I'll never forget. "Doc, I don't know if it was the creatine or just wishful thinking, but for the first time in years, I walked up the stairs without holding the handrail." Now that might not sound like a big deal to some people, but to him and to me, it was everything, because that moment meant freedom, confidence, a glimpse of strength returning where it had been fading. That's what creatine can offer, not just better performance in the gym, but real meaningful changes in daily life, the kind that help people live on their own terms. Coming up next, let's take a closer look at some of the most common questions and myths around creatine, including the one worry that stops many older adults from trying it, and why the research says it's time to think differently. Now let's clear up some of the biggest myths and concerns people have about creatine. Because if you're like many older adults, there's one question you're probably thinking right now. Is creatine safe for my kidneys? It's a fair question, and one I hear all the time. But here's what decades of research now show clearly. In healthy individuals, creatine does not damage the kidneys. This myth has been around for years, but over 100 clinical studies, including research from respected institutions like the Mayo Clinic, confirm that creatine is safe and well tolerated, even in older adults. That said, it's still smart to do this the right way. Talk to your doctor first, especially if you have kidney disease or any pre-existing conditions. Drink enough water throughout the day. Stick to the proper dose, which we'll cover in just a minute. And here's something else I want to share with you. In 2022, a major meta-analysis published in the Journal of Gerontology looked at seniors taking creatine while doing the exact same exercises as a control group. Guess what? Those using creatine built more muscle, gained more strength, and even showed better mobility, despite doing the same workouts. The takeaway? Creatine isn't hype. It's proven, safe, and for many older adults, a true difference maker. Coming up next, I'll walk you through the exact dosage, the right type to buy, and the simple way to take it daily for the best results, without overcomplicating anything. So how do you actually take creatine, and which kind is best? The good news is, it's simple. The recommended dose for older adults is 3 to 5 grams per day. That's about 1 small scoop, and most high-quality products will include a measuring spoon right inside the container. Make sure you choose creatine monohydrate. That's the form used in nearly all of the research. No added flavors, no fillers, no extra ingredients. Just one thing on the label: creatine monohydrate. You can mix it with water, stir it into a smoothie, or take it after a workout or with a meal. There's no strict rule, just be consistent. Now here's something that might surprise you. To get that same 5 grams of creatine from food alone, you'd have to eat over 2 pounds of red meat every single day. Not only is that unrealistic, it's also not recommended, especially for heart health. That's why supplementing is often the smarter and more sustainable choice, particularly for older adults who may not eat as much protein as they used to. So don't overthink it. 1 small scoop a day, plenty of water, and you're on your way to stronger muscles, a sharper mind, and more energy to do the things you love. Coming up next, what about women? What if you have high blood pressure? Does creatine have calories? We'll tackle all of that in the next section, so stay with me. Let's go through some of the most common questions I hear from older adults about creatine. Rapid fire style. Can women take it? Absolutely. In fact, some of the most exciting research around creatine focuses on postmenopausal women, where it may even help prevent bone loss and osteoporosis. Will it raise my blood pressure? Clinical trials have shown that creatine does not raise blood pressure in healthy individuals. Does it have calories? Nope. Creatine contains 0 calories. It won't affect your weight in that way. Will it make me gain weight or look bloated? Creatine may cause a small amount of water retention in the muscles during the first week or 2. But this isn't fat, it's just your muscles holding more fluid, which actually helps with hydration and performance. And for most people, that effect is barely noticeable, and it goes away with consistent use. What about side effects? For some, especially at first, creatine can cause mild digestive issues, like a little bloating or looser stools. If that happens to you, try cutting the dose in half for the first week, then slowly increase. Some people also find it easier to split the dose, half in the morning, half in the afternoon. Bottom line, for the vast majority of healthy adults over 60, creatine is not only safe, it's one of the most well-researched and beneficial supplements you can take. Coming up next, I'll show you how to make creatine part of your daily routine, even on days you don't exercise, and why consistency is the real key to results. So there you have it. A simple, proven way to support your muscles, your mind, your bones, and your independence as you age. Creatine. It's safe, it's affordable, it's 1 scoop a day, and it could mean the difference between needing help or moving through life on your own terms. Because here's what we know. Getting older doesn't mean getting weaker. Not when science gives us tools like this, and not when you're willing to take that first step. So here's your challenge. Start today, not next week. Not when you feel ready, just 1 small habit. A scoop of creatine with your morning routine. That's it, because the action you take today is an investment in your future self. The version of you that's still climbing stairs, still sharp, still steady, and still fully in control. And now we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried creatine before? Are you doing anything right now to protect your strength and independence? Do you know someone over 60 who could benefit from this? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone you care about. Your next chapter of strength and vitality starts now. Let's make it strong.